All right, as a follow-up from my last election video, I'd like to give you an update on what are the latest changes, right? As you can see, the market is very dynamic, and Kamala as well as Trump still doing the campaigning in all the different states, especially the swing state. But there are some new developments that are significant that I'd like to update you, right? One of it is there's the latest news just recently. Trump actually vows to deport millions of immigrants if he becomes a president, and this is going to cause a big impact. What do you think? To which industry? Right, to many industries, especially the housing industry. Right? Just like Malaysia, we have a lot of immigrants that are here for the housing industry. So the builders said that this would actually drain their crews as well as drive up the home costs, right? Because if you do not have immigrants, then you have hire Americans to do the job. And that definitely is going to raise the home price. So let's take a look at the stock chart. How significant is this impact, right? So refer to this news over here. Right, this is the news, and let's look at the date of the news here. It's on October 19. Okay, and let's see the reaction to the stock chart for one of the home builder stock, which is DHI. Right, on this particular day, right, 18 is on the Friday, so 19 is when the news came out, which is on a Saturday. You can see the big long red bar candle. So these stocks is being affected, and it came down and it broke below the EMA 50. Right, that shows the home builders have a negative sentiment on this. Right, and let's look at another home builder stocks, LEN, which also have the same negative reaction on the following Monday after this news came out. So of course, overall, there's a significant impact, right? So even though we said that the home builders by right should be benefiting no matter who wins, that in general, because both also support having affordable housing, right, for the low and middle class. However, because Trump really against having immigrants in the US, right? So that is something that we need to watch out for when it comes to the home builder. So because of that negative sentiment, the home builder stocks actually came down. One more latest development is there's a DHI earnings announcement where they lower the forecast for next year, right? It could be for two reasons. One is because the interest rate for US did not come down as high as expected. After the big drop of the interest rate, which is 0.5 during the September FOMC meeting, the Federal Reserve meeting, people are expecting a more aggressive cut in November and December. People are expecting at least a 0.5 to probably 0.75 by end of the year. But the recent economic indicators are healthier than expected, right? The unemployment rate actually went down higher than expected. Earlier, there was some concern with a higher unemployment rate. Because of that, there's an anticipation the Fed may not cut rates so fast. But likely, they may still cut 0.25 in November and another 0.25 in December. So since it's lower cut than expected, the housing sector is actually giving a more cautious forecast for next year. But then should you invest in this stock? There was a big gap down for DHI. Let's look at the DHI earnings recently. You can see there's a big gap down here. Right after the earnings announcement. For all our students, we want them to get out before the earnings, right? Especially for those stocks that they don't have a profit buffer, or unless they protect with options, right, to protect over the earnings gap down. So if you have actually gotten out, then this could be a good opportunity to get in. Of course, you need to do your own due diligence. Typically, we don't get back in straight away, right? So even for myself, I may trade it intraday for the meantime until it stabilizes after 5 days after earnings. Or if you know how to use options, then you have a better way to protect the downside, when it takes a while to get it stabilized. And if you understand the fundamentals, then this could be a good bargain. I just want to highlight this is not an investment advice. You need to make sure that you understand this industry. The market is very dynamic as the home builder industry, especially are affected by not just the demand and supply, by interest rates as well, right? The interest rate and also Trump policy. So we still have some uncertainty depending on whether Trump wins or Harris wins, especially when related to the immigration policy. Despite that, what I would see is even though Trump wants to deport, it's not so easy for him to get it buy off, right? Because he still needs to go through the Congress and the Senate. Okay? But this news here definitely will cause some concern, and I'm sure all the home builders in the US will do a petition on this, right? Just that you need to understand Trump's style, right? He's quite erratic when it comes to announcing things like this. So you can see from the chart reaction here, it actually went up very fast, right? So let's look at the intraday chart as well. From the earnings announcement, it actually recovered within the day, and because there's an industry chain reaction, look at the LEN, right? People see it as a bargain hunting, because it came all the way to, it dropped to EMA 200, and people are buying here, okay, and it recovered from roughly 161 all the way to 170, right? $9 in one day. What a great intraday trade as well. So this is where, depending on whether you're a long-term investor, mid-term trend trader, short-term swing trader, or intraday trader, there's a way to take advantage of it. A lot of people are very fearful of the market because they are not sure how to invest or trade. But if you know what you're doing and you understand the industry as well as the stock, there's a lot of opportunity to take advantage of this, right? Even though gap down where people are panicking, but it could be a great deal. So why I think the home builder industry has still got some upside despite the volatility. Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? With the right strategies, you can actually start picking quality stocks and managing the risk like a professional. At Beyond Insights, we develop a systematic, versatile, and safe framework to help traders make smarter decisions and grow your investment. Why systematic is very important? Because without systematic process, you will not be able to repeat it. And why versatile? The market is dynamic, right? You can see election years versus non-election year, and who wins, that will change the market. But more importantly, it needs to be safe. You have a strict money management. So I'm inviting you to join our free 3-hour webinar where you will learn how to systematically do this, right? Which is how to find quality stocks, we call it select, right? How to find high growth potential companies, and how to be versatile for different kind of market scenario. And last but not least, to master risk management to ensure that your reward outweighs your risk and you can sleep with peace of mind. So click on the link in the description below to join our free 3-hour webinar and start to learn how to trade or invest smarter. During the pandemic time, there was less construction happening, right? So because of that, the supply actually has slowed down. And because of the high interest rate in 2022, a lot of home builders are lowering their capacity, right? So they are not building as high as the normal run rate. They are also not applying as much of the home builders permit during that time. And due to that, the run rate for the new home builders are actually lower than expected. But the demand for homes actually still as high. So you can see there's a big contrast. So based on this discrepancy between demand and supply, so do you think this will come back, right? The home builders will still be able to make money later on, right? Now, DHI is forecasting a lower forecast next year because of the interest rate direction is still not very clear, right? How fast the Fed is going to cut. But eventually, this demand is going to take over, right? People cannot wait too long before they buy a home, especially when they need it for their own use. But for the investors that are using it for speculating, right, they may wait and see, right? So you need to look at the progress, especially after election. What do you think? If Kamala wins, do you think this will recover, right? At least we remove the uncertainty around the deportation of immigrants, right? So that's something you can watch out. This could be an opportunity. The second part is if the Fed really progress with the interest rate cut of 0.25, or even faster than that, right? Depending on next year, then the home builders can come back, right? So it really depends on the interest rate direction. What is not supportive on it right now is the US 10-year yield, right? This is the US 10-year yield. The bond yield is an indication of interest rate direction. And because recently from the downtrend, it becomes uptrend. And because from downtrend to become uptrend, then people are worried that the interest rate is not going to come down that soon, right? So you should understand for every industry that you're investing in, don't have to be so fearful. You should understand how it works, right? Home builders affected significantly by interest rate direction. And you can anticipate the interest rate direction based on the bond yield direction as well. So if the bond yield start to peak and start to come down back more aggressively, then the home builders can recover. And you time it better together with the chart. Yeah. As you can see here, Lena has been performing well, right? Until the bad news from Trump, it actually came down. But there's still support over here to recover at the EMA 200. And furthermore, if you look at the valuation for the home builder industry in the US, the valuation is pretty attractive, right? The P is only 11, 4P is 10 for DHI, and for Lena, right? Another major home builder companies in the US is also very low, right? So it's mainly affected by the macro sentiment. As I mentioned in some of the videos, right? 40% of stock price is affected by the bigger macro, right? 30% is the industry, and 30% is the stocks. Right, so valuation is low, so you can see how you can take advantage of it depending on your investing versus trading style. And based on this, right, this news is the one that caused you to come down. So of course it depends on whether Trump wins the election or not. Let's look at what are the chances of them winning, right? Let's look at two different perspectives. One is the Polymarket website, which is a betting site, right, where people are betting who is going to win. So you can see that people are betting that 66% likelihood of Trump winning, compared to 33.18% for Harris. Okay. However, this is based on what people bet, may not be the actual, right? Because it's a subset of people that's doing this. And there's another site which is based on survey, right? Based on survey, and different websites may give you different numbers. So this is from the economist.com. You can see that from economist.com, Kamala is still leading, okay? 49.1 and 47.7. The challenge here is the polls are, Trump is actually gaining more traction, especially in this poly market earlier. One thing I'd like to share with you is the changes that is starting on this date. On October 5th onwards, you can see that more people are betting on Trump win, right? Whereas less on Harris. So there's a change of direction, which caused some shift in terms of the industry that is in favor right now. Okay? So do follow up with the progress, right? Nothing is set in stone right now because of the election, and there will be more uncertainty if Trump wins. But you need to prepare ahead, right? So what if Kamala win, the market will be more stable, there will be a stronger rebound. Are you prepared for the industry that you want to buy into, right? Or the specific stock, even to trade intraday or to buy those great deals for either trend trading or even for investing. Let me show you another chart related to the housing shortage in the US. Right, let's look at this. Although this article is from December 2023, but it shows a significant shortage over here. Right? This is existing housing unit relative to the population demand in the US. Let's look at the deficit here. Right, is it significant? Okay, this shortage actually support the long-term growth of the home builders industry. Although there's some short-term volatility that is very sensitive to two major things, which is interest rate direction, and the other part is who is going to win the election, right? Because that's affect the costing, which is related to the immigrants, right? Which is one major part of their workers. Election is coming very, very soon, and do watch out for our post-election coverage as well. Election is on November 5th, so November 6th you will see the market reaction. So how many of you are looking forward to the outcome of the election? And depending on whether you're intraday trader, mid-term or long-term, there will be different way to trade it. So make sure that you're prepared and make best use of what we have covered so far.